Hi there. I'm here with my Singer 401A, and what I've got is what I've got going here is I took off the throat plate and the slide plate. There's a throat plate and a slide plate. I also took off the foot and I took out the bobbin, and so it's all open. And the reason I did all that is because here is the original or old needle that this machine came with. And so that needle is probably decades old, and it's a size 4. It's a 15 by 1 for number 14, and I'm not sure what the 14 refers to, whether that's gauge or whatever. But to make a long story short, I also purchased some new 15 by 1 14 sewing machine needles, and I haven't even opened the package yet. They're right there. And I also recently, just like last week or whatever, bought these 15 by 1, but they're number 16s. See, these are 14s and these are 16s. Now the reason I did that is because I had gone up to the garment district in Montreal, north of Jean Talon on Rue Saint-Hubert. And it's nice up there because besides being the garment district, it's a kind of a Latino Spanish American district also. So it's really enjoyable to go up there, especially if you like sewing machines and, you know, fashions and, you know, clothes and cloths and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, so when I was up at the garment district, I went to a sewing machine supply place, and I spoke with the person there, and I decided I needed 15 by 1 14 needles. And the lady there, who was kind of, I think it was like a family thing, a husband and wife deal going on there, you know. And she had mentioned the 16s, and then the hubby or whatever, he mentioned 14s. So I was intrigued by the 16s, and the 16s are, like it even says right on the pack here, jeans, denim. The issue I'm having is that I took out the old needle, the 14 needle, and I can take that out and replace it, no problem. But it's almost like the 16 is too large to fit in the needle receptacle on the machine. And I played with it probably for the better part of an hour or more a couple of days ago. And I left it at that. So that's where I'm at here now. Now there's a couple other things I want to say is, first of all, I'm an amateur. I'm not licensed or qualified. This is like a hobby slash educational slash tutorial channel kind of thing. That's the way I view this. So anytime I mention a brand, and I haven't really mentioned any brands here, but you can see that there is a brand name down there. And the reason I mentioned that is because that's the equipment I'm using to teach myself and to teach others, my over 1,700 subscribers and the over 5,000 viewers, well over 5,000 viewers a month that come here to look at the videos as well. And I say that because, especially coming up in the future, I've been spending a lot of time on a language learning website. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been really concentrating on learning French for the last 28 or 29 days. And sometimes I spend 8, 9, 10 hours a day at it. But anyway, nonetheless, I was home in my hometown in southwestern Ontario a couple of weeks ago. I was down there for 7 nights. I sold my car last October 2023. And so to get to London, I took the Canadian passenger train service, which they call Via Rail. And so I took the train from Montreal to Toronto, and then at Toronto I had to get off and wait for about an hour and 15 minutes, barely an hour really, and then get on a Toronto to London, Ontario train. So that's what I did. Altogether it was about a 10-hour day or travel day. So it was a bit of a long day, but it was nice because you're able to there's Wi-Fi on the train, so you can you know, play with your mobile, your phone or whatever, and you can also use your laptop. And I had books with me, so you know, it was and especially on the Montreal to Toronto and Toronto to Montreal portions, on the way down and the way back, I had really interesting seatmates. The person sitting beside me was very interesting. I was fortunate that I reserved the seat or bought the ticket early enough ahead of the departure and arrival day and all that I was able to get window seats on all four of my trains. Whoopsie daisy. So that was kind of interesting in itself, and that ties into this, because this is where I bought these needles right here. These were bought in Montreal. I don't know where that one came from. It came with the machine. But I bought these needles just a couple of weeks ago in London, Ontario, at a sewing machine store, and I'm sure that they won't mind me referring to them. It was the Nova sewing machine store, and they seem to do a pretty good trade in retail new machines. They had a lot of Bernina machines on display in their store, and the phone was ringing, and people were coming. You know, they're doing good trade there. It was really a sewing machine store, like a sewing person's sewing machine store. A little bit different, you know, kind of off of what my niche really is. I like seeing vintage machines and old machines. And in Montreal, when you go to, you know, some of the sewing machine, even the Singer sewing machine store up there in the garment district, yeah, they got new machines up there, but then they've got used, old, vintage, and antique machines as well. So there's quite a variety. Even though they're, you know, big sewing machine, like sewing store, they're also they also have modern and vintage sewing machines here in Montreal, whereas in London it was just kind of modern stuff and sewing stuff. So just off of my niche just a little. So I don't really know what I'm going to do to get these number 16s in there, but what I can do is I can thread this machine to the point, well, I could actually thread that number 14 needle too. So why don't I do that? And what am I going to use for thread? I could put a spool on like that, but I also have the thread tower, the black thread tower. So I think I'm going to use the thread tower. I'll put that other stuff there, and I've got a couple of pairs of scissors. These turquoise handled ones are supposed to be my material or cloth scissors, and then these black handled ones are cheaper utility scissors that I use for not cloth. I don't use them on cloth. So here we go. Let me get started threading this machine. And it is nice to be able to get back to working with the machine, because it's been a while. It's been a week or so. There, and right down between the guide there, and then back up towards the spring. And I'm keeping some tension on the thread coming off the tower so that I can get it, or did I miss it here? I missed it. There, that's good. And then up through that guide if I can, and then up to the take-up lever, pick-up lever. I got these new glasses and the prescription is a little bit off. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. There we go, finally. Now I've got to put that back in. Cool. And then back down to in there. And then down to there. And then down to there. Did I miss it? I missed it. So down to there. Got it. And then in there. Right-o. And then down to the needle. Now I'm going to move all these little toys out of the way for now. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring the handy dandy needle threader right here. I'm just straightening out the filament on the threader filament. That seems like it might be better. Now where's, okay, there we are there. So I want to, I'm just trying to line this up. No, that's going to be awkward as well. See, I'm trying to get the threader through the needle. I'm missing it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to keep playing with this. If I do get a clip where I am successful threading it, I will add that to it, but it may not be because I don't want to hold much of time. So there you are, my friends. That's pretty simple for now. Don't know how helpful that was for you, but I just needed the practice to get back to playing with a sewing machine because it had been a couple of weeks. Anyway, have fun, keep safe. Thanks for viewing. Please subscribe, and we'll talk soon. Adios for now, amigos. Ciao.